What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to share with you the ab progression I use when training athletes. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I post new videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays, so make sure you're subscribed to catch all of them. So when it comes to training the core, there's two categories of progressions that I use. Number one is going to be body position, so the way you're standing or the way you're positioned. And then number two is going to be movement, whether we're doing like an iso hold or whether we're moving through our core, something like that. So to kick it off, number one, I'm going to start with body position. So for beginners, I like to do something where you're standing in a square stance or you're doing a tall kneel. When I go to more intermediate, I'll switch it up and I'll do like a half kneeling or a split stance, make it a little bit more challenging. You really have to call in that core for stability. And then for advanced athletes, I sometimes like to do things single leg. I'll either just keep it with split stance, half kneeling and increase the weight, increase other variables, or I'll do something like a single leg as long as it's not so difficult that you don't see benefits of the core exercise. The second category that I roll with is going to be, like I said, what type of movement. So for beginners, I do a lot of iso, like resistive movements where your core is holding you in one position. So it's going to be stuff like anti-flexion, anti-extension, anti-rotation. It's going to be a lot of holds, like a hollow body hold with an anti-flexion. So like somebody's pulling, you're holding a resistance band and somebody's pulling you, either they're pulling you forward, they're pulling you backwards, and you have to resist that movement. Like a farmer's carry, that anti-lateral flexion. Things like that, that's really good for beginners, that isometric hold. For intermediate, then I start to do more movement. So I'll do an iso hold with like the core, so your core is isometrically contracting and your limbs are starting to move, so like a dead bug, for example. And then I'll also start to include some extension, flexion, and rotation through the core. So we'll do some med ball stuff for rotation, like an oblique scoop toss, a shot put. Everything with the med ball, you can really work the core very well. I'll do like some hanging leg raises, something like that. I think those are a great exercise. So that's the second progression for intermediate, an isometric core contraction with limb movement, or some light, low level extension, flexion, rotation, like I said, with something like a med ball. And then for more advanced athletes, we're gonna do like a total body movement, or we're gonna do it fast paced or throw in some perceptual cognitive ability. So for total body, it's gonna be something like, let's say you're sitting in a V, for example, and I'm throwing the med ball at you and you have to rotate to grab it. You're having to do a total body movement, right? Completely turn, or if you're doing like a split stance and I make you turn, or you're doing a lateral walk with a med ball being tossed at you and you have to grab it, switch your body up, something like that. And then for more fast paced, it's gonna be like a viper rotation, right? Where we're going super fast in that rotation, really working on the core to stabilize and to create that turn. And then even something like a med ball power exercise, right? I mentioned the shot put earlier or the scoop toss earlier, but now we're just gonna up the ante on it, make it a lot more powerful, really call on that core to stabilize and to transfer power from your lower body to your upper body. And then lastly, I said that perceptual cognitive ability. So that's gonna be something where I like throw a med ball at you, and let's say you're on one leg, for example, and you have to catch it. I've done a lot of that in my other workouts. Or you're in a plank and I throw a tennis ball and you have to go one hand, grab the tennis ball, throw it back. Little things like that is great for advanced athletes. Number one, because it's really fun, but also it plays in different levels, and you have to do things that you aren't expecting, very similar to sports. So I make sure this is with advanced people who can handle it, because you don't want these other features to take away from the core workout itself, because then you're not going to get the benefits you're going for. Yeah, you can throw a tennis ball at somebody, but if they can't hold that plank really well, then there's really no point in doing it. So that's what I'm going to do for more advanced athletes. So just to give you guys some examples, for more beginners, I like to do something, like I said, like a V hold with a resistance band, anti-flexion, anti-extension. You can even hold it from the side and do anti-rotation. I like to do some type of press or short arm rotations, some overhead walkouts with the resistance band. Those are really good. Those are like a silent killer. You don't think they're going to be difficult until you're like out here and the cable's like, and you're like, oh no. So those are really good. Love doing those. And then also I like doing like a front plank, for example. I mentioned a couple or like a lot of videos back. I don't really like planks. I don't think they're very good. for more intermediate and advanced athletes, but when you're just beginning, you need to just build that isometric strength, and a front plank is an awesome way to do that. You can even put your feet on a stability ball or your arms on a stability ball. That's going to make it a little bit more difficult, but I definitely roll with some front planks for beginner athletes. And then for more intermediate, I like to do something like a dead bug with weight, make it a little bit more challenging. Body saw, farmer's carries, waiter's carry, stir the pot on a stability ball. That's a really good one. I like to do some type of rotational chop if I'm just there with the cable doing a chop, or like a landmine bar rotation, you know, hold the landmine bar and you go side to side. Something like that is good as well. And then lastly, for more advanced athletes, I'll do something like an ab rollout, some single leg stuff with the med ball like I mentioned earlier, something with a tennis ball. I'll even do like some balance stuff on a Bosu ball. That's really good when you can call in stability or like that balance aspect, because that's very similar to sports. Obviously, you're not going to be on such an unstable device in sports, but I think it helps the core stability, keep your body in one place. I think that's a great way to do it. I don't do it too much, but every now and again, I'll throw it in there depending on the sport. Like for a snowboarder, I really think it's going to be beneficial. I also really like doing stuff on a TRX. You can go single arm, single leg. That's a great way to be to give your core a good challenge. And lastly, something with a partner you can do, like a partner oblique hold. I don't have a video clip of this, but you can put half your body off the bench and then half your body. So let's say torso up, off, and then torso down, so hip down. On the bench, your partner is holding your legs, and you're like in a side plank kind of on off the bench, and you have to hold yourself up. You don't let yourself dip down. That's a really good one. Or even like a Copenhagen plank, and you can have a resistance band be pulling you, so you have to resist that. There's lots of things to play with. But those are some of the exercises I do for advanced athletes. So hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. Obviously, it's super important to train core. I end every single workout with some core training. If you watch my videos and actually watch my workouts though, you're gonna notice that every exercise I choose has some element of core stability involved. Even if it's like a trap bar, you gotta squeeze your core, or a single leg RDO, you gotta squeeze your core. So every exercise I do has some element of core involved. But for me, it's a mentality thing. I like to wrap up my workouts with core. I've always done that. All my other strength and conditioning coaches have done that. So now for me, that's just something that I do. I like to wrap it up. People know, all right, at the end, we got some core and then we're out of here. So that's what I like to do. Hopefully this video gave you guys some ideas and helped you with that progression. So if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment down below what you guys want to see in the future. But yeah, I hope you guys liked it, and I will see you guys in the next one.